here is your consciousness made manifest. So what is this girl conscious of? What is her consciousness right now about her specific person? That nothing's happening and it's not exactly how I imagined it, and he's not receiving it, and he's not doing what I want. That's her consciousness made manifest. So he can only be how she's conscious of him being and her being. Oh, it's not working. I'm sending him stuff. He's not receiving it. He's not reflecting it back. It's not exactly how I wanted. What's happening? What's happening, darling, is you're not thinking right. All right, everyone, I've got a really lovely suggestion in the Subconscious Loz squad for this Loz lesson all about thought transmission. Now, those of you who've done my Thought Transmission 101 course will probably know what I'm going to say about thought transmission. It's a lot different than probably what you've learned. If you want more information about that, go and get that course. But in this Loz lesson, I'm going to go deep into what thought transmission is and how you can use it in your life with your specific person, because you're already actually using it. Just like you're already using the law of assumption. And in this Loz lesson, I'll teach you how even saying the word use is confusing you. Okay? So this is the question. Thought transmission, getting it more precise. What's happening when you are sending him stuff to reflect back and nothing happens, or it's not exactly how you imagined it? Now, those of you who've done Thought Transmission 101, either on my website or did it in the squad, will understand there's a few problems with this question. What did I teach you in Thought Transmission 101 that thought transmission actually is? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? I was teaching you that the thoughts go out here into the ether, right? You're not actually planting thoughts in people's minds like making them do something. Now, this is going to be very misleading for some of you who are now going to be coming and doing they are your puppet in the squad, because I'm saying you're puppeteering them. So don't get confused by what I'm saying. Yes, they are your puppet. And yes, there is thought transmission, but the way it happens, the way it occurs is different than the way you guys think. A lot of you are being taught that a person in your reality is under your command and you're doing this like a puppet, and you think you're making them do things. But the making them do things part is the bit you guys are not quite getting. And let me just go back for a second about what this all is, what manifestation even is. Everything in your reality was once created by you. So if you can understand that, you'll understand that everything is simply a reflection of what's happening in here, made by you. So you're not making the mirror reflect you. It just is reflecting you when you're standing in front of it in the mirror in the morning. So you're not making your specific person receive the thoughts you sent to them, or you're not making them do what you want when you pull the strings and you're the puppet master and they're the puppet. You need to understand that there's no making involved here. And this is the bit that so many of you will think, well, hang on, I thought you said your course is called They Are Your Puppet. I thought you said we're transmitting thoughts to them. Guys, you've got to understand, a lot of what I'm telling you is what I know you guys will understand, but it's so much more simple than what you guys understand. So if I say they are your puppet, you guys get that visual. If I say put thoughts in their mind, you get that visual. And so you think that's what's happening. If I just said to you, everything out here is you made manifest, you'll go, what do you mean, Loz? Because I've been saying that for fucking 4 years. And for some reason, I have to simplify it down to images of puppets and images of thoughts going in people's brains for you guys to get this. And when I say get it, I mean the actual essence of how this works. When I say to you guys, are you getting this yet? So many of you get so insulted and offended and think I'm saying you're thick. I'm saying, do you understand the fundamental of this that I just said? That everything out here is your consciousness made manifest. If I say that, I say it over and over, you will go, most of you, yes, but how do I get him to do something? Yeah, but how do I make him say something? Like this question. What's happening when you are sending him stuff to reflect back? You're not sending them stuff to reflect back. He is your consciousness made manifest. Sometimes, guys, if you look back at my old videos, I'm not speaking in the profundity that I now speak because I think I was dumbing down the messaging in order to simplify these teachings so that you don't get confused by just the sheer simplicity of this. So let me say it again. What is wrong with this question? Thought transmission, getting it more precise. What's happening when you are sending him stuff to reflect back and nothing happens? I don't fucking know. How do I know? None of us know. I'm not Yoda, guys. I can't possibly know what's happening to that person when you are sending him stuff to reflect back and nothing happens. All I know is you haven't done it properly. Guys, all you need to know when shit hasn't worked out is you're doing this wrong. Like, out here is your consciousness made manifest. So what is this girl conscious of? What is her consciousness right now about her specific person? That nothing's happening and it's not exactly how I imagined it and he's not receiving it and he's not doing what I want. That's her consciousness made manifest. So he can only be how she's conscious of him being and her being. Oh, it's not working. I'm sending him stuff. He's not receiving it. He's not reflecting it back. It's not exactly how I wanted. What's happening? What's happening, darling, is you're not thinking right. Your consciousness is all wrong. Read what your consciousness of self is. I'm reflecting things for him to reflect back, sending him things. He's not doing exactly what I want. So you are conscious that he's not doing exactly what you want. Listen to what I just said. She's conscious that he is not doing exactly what she wants, in her words, exactly how I imagined it. You imagined it. Let me give you a story that happened to me last night. 2 examples of this, where it wasn't exactly how I imagined it, but it was how I imagined it. But it wasn't exactly how. And if I'm worried about the exactly how, I'm not getting this because, guys, even in law of attraction circles, dumb bitches say, forget about the how, don't worry about the how. And you guys are all in here asking me how. It didn't happen how. What the fuck are you guys on about when you're saying about the how? It's the end we're worried about here. The end, not the how, not the how, not the how, not the how, not the how. If you keep asking me about the fucking how, it's like you're deaf. Back in the day in The Secret, she was saying, don't worry about the how. And you fuckers in the squad are asking me, literally in your question, exactly how? How do I know exactly how? What are you conscious of being? So I'm going to go back to 2 examples of it didn't happen exactly how. It just happened. But it doesn't matter because I can't control the fucking how. None of you can. You've just got to go to the end. Guys, fuck. Don't ask me about how questions. Let me go back to something that happened last night, showing you how thought transmission works, not exactly how, because I didn't care about the how. I just had an end in mind. So the end occurred, but it might not have been exactly how I imagined. The bridge of incidents to get to that how might not have been exactly how I imagined, but it just happened. Listen and listen closely and see if you can ascertain in this what I did to make this occur. Because I didn't make it occur. It was just my consciousness made manifest. I had 2 conversations last night that were based on 2 thoughts I'd had a few days ago, 2 separate thoughts. The first thought was I was watching the football. There was the grand final in Australia and there were 2 football teams playing. And I missed the first half because I was doing a job interview. And the second half I watched. And I was perplexed at the end when they were giving the awards to all the football players that literally every single one of these footballers had the same haircut. And they all had this like fluffy on top with a mullet in the back and really shaved sides like this. And I was like, have they done this as a joke or something? Is this an actual haircut that young kids are doing now? And I had this thought, oh my God, I bet you this person that I'm thinking about who I was with last night, son, will come home with that haircut. Imagine that kid, that 15-year-old kid with this haircut. I bet you he'll come home with that. We started having a conversation about it last night. We're talking about the football. I said, what about those haircuts? He goes, you won't believe it, blah, blah, blah. His son came home with that haircut the other day. We'd never had a conversation about it. He was none the wiser that this kid was ever going to cut his hair like this. He'd never seen this haircut before. He goes, what's it even called? We went and looked it up. He goes, I think it's got a name. It's called the Fluffy Edgar or the Edgar, right? This haircut. But I had the imaginal thought, just a fleeting thought, I bet you that kid will come home with this haircut. Imagine that kid. Imagine that kid. So what I'd done was I had imagined the image of that child with that haircut in my brain. And I distinctly remember imagining him with the haircut. And the way he described him coming home with it was exactly the haircut and the way I'd imagined it in my head. And he goes, oh, it's like this with a bowl, like he's put a bowl over his head and he's just cut it and then it's all missing and then there's a mullet. And I was like, that's in my head how I imagined it. Now, did I have to exactly give him the thought and exactly send it? No. What did I do there? I imagined a child with a haircut in my brain. I had an imaginal activity in my mind of that thing. Then that eventuated because those thoughts were now out here, sent to the child and sent to my person I'm talking to. And so that child felt compelled to come home with the haircut after this football match. Out of the blue, without permission by this parent. Now, how did I do that? I was just conscious of the fact that that child would have that haircut. That's it. I wasn't worried about planting seeds in that person's mind or the child's mind to make anything happen. This is where you guys are going wrong. I'll give you another example. Same person, last night, I had a thought the other day. Oh, it was 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5 was on TV. It was on an ad or something. And I thought, if I ever sang karaoke, I probably would sing that. It would suit my voice. Like hoedown, country western karaoke, right? Last night we had this conversation. And he goes, when I walked in the door, you look like a cowgirl. Because I was wearing like a denim shirt and it was tied up. And I was like, really? And then we were talking about his singing voice and he goes, I said, you've got a really good singing voice. He goes, you know what we should do? We should go on a karaoke date. And I was like, I would only do karaoke if I was really drunk. And he goes, right. And I said, because I don't like doing karaoke, even though I can sing, right? He goes, well, you could turn up in that outfit and sing 9 to 5. And he started singing 9 to 5, walked into the kitchen, started singing 9 to 5, and I was just like, what? Now, did I consciously think this man is going to mention to me that one day we're going to do karaoke and I'm going to be in a cowgirl outfit and I'm going to sing this specific song called 9 to 5 and then he's going to start singing 9 to 5? I couldn't possibly have devised this conversation. I just had an imaginal activity in my mind that if I were to go to karaoke specifically, that specific song would be the song I would sing. That would be my chosen song. And then he was like, you could sing that song. And then he's like, blah, 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 start singing it. Did I have to send that to him consciously and plant it in his mind? This is where a lot of you are going wrong. Did I have to puppet him? You are going to talk about 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. Your child is going to come home with a fluffy Edgar haircut. Hear what I'm really saying here, guys, and see if you can really get this. What is happening in this process of thought transmission? It is simply your consciousness made manifest. What you are sending out here can only be as you are being. Like the radio can only play the song you sent out from the tower. Are you understanding this? If you're not understanding this, I highly recommend you come and do They Are Your Puppet with us starting Monday in my Subconscious Oz squad. I drop a course in the group and you get it as part of your membership, your $50 membership or $35 if you join yearly, which I highly recommend because it's a very supportive group in there and you'll never want to leave, like Hotel California, okay? And I'll explain to you how some of you are really getting this wrong. You think you're making them do things or you're trying to make them do things, and the very essence of you trying to make them do things is what's fucking it up for you. And then when it doesn't, wait for it, doesn't turn out exactly the way you thought, then you're thrown by it. So one of the biggest things we see in the Subconscious Laws Squad and in my free group, Subconscious Laws on Facebook, is so many of you saying, well, I imagined it, but it didn't come out exactly as I imagined. Guys, it never, hardly ever comes out exactly as you imagine because you can't control the how. You can only go to the end. And if those of you were in my squad recently, you would have done Happily Ever After. Now, Happily Ever After will be coming out as a course, and we're doing a special way of doing this course coming up. I think I'm going to do it in another way so all of you can actually take advantage of this course, okay? It won't be on my website as a full course. It'll just be ebooks, but wait for the surprise because I'm going to reveal it next week. If you want to understand how to go to the end fully of married and committed to, Happily Ever After will teach you that you don't have to worry about this how part. Yes, we might be scripting the visualization, scripting the imaginal scenes, scripting the imaginings. Like I had imaginings of 9 to 5, imaginings of an Edgar haircut, but I didn't worry how it was going to come about. I didn't say to myself yesterday, okay, I'm going to go to his house and then we're going to have this conversation. And then he's going to say, my child came home with. He literally said the words came home with. And I was thinking, imagine if he came home with that haircut. How funny. If I was going to do karaoke, I'd definitely sing 9 to 5. You should sing 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5. I was like, what the hell? And I said to him, you won't believe it, but I imagined singing 9 to 5 in karaoke and you're talking about it and suggesting it to me. And now you're standing in the kitchen singing 9 to 5. And he was like, what are you talking about? And he was like perplexed as what I was even fucking on about. He thought it was magic or something. Are you guys really getting this? If you're not, come and join us for They Are Your Puppet because I will explain it in 3 different videos. There's task workbooks to make you truly get this. So you are truly sending out, truly becoming the new consciousness of self to make them do what you want. See how I'm doing this? If you don't know why I'm doing this, please come and do this course with us starting Monday, October 6th. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe and follow me, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.